Hi, everyone. Welcome to another mini common art series, this time with the topic, the last flower. What are we going to do today? Well, the intention of this session is to reflect and share strategies to deal with and recover from life and difficulties. What are the activities we're going to do? We're going to draw with our non-dominant hand. We are also going to have an active concert, and I will explain to you when time comes what an active concert is, according to Georgi Lozanov, a Bulgarian psychologist who developed a very interesting method to learn languages called accelerated learning. We are going to reflect on a parable that we are going to use in order to do this active concert and to talk about the difficulties of life and how we can recover from them and how to improve our mental flexibility. And then we're going to play a game called Spin the Wheel. All right? So it sounds entertaining, and I'm sure that you will get lots of benefits in your learning of English. Okay, so this exercise, draw with your non-dominant hand. In my case, I am left-handed. I have mentioned in other videos. So if I want to do this drawing, and the one that you see in the image, I did it with my non-dominant hand. In this case, it was with my right hand. So I will ask you please to draw a girl with a flower using your non-dominant hand. If you are right-handed, please do it with your left hand. Okay? So what are the benefits? When you are using your non-dominant hand, you are making more brain connections. So this is very fantastic because actually we don't use the left side of the brain or the right side of the brain. Almost all the time we are using both. But if we always use our dominant hand for everything, then, well, talking about motricity, the right hand becomes stronger, okay? Because they are crossed, the channels are crossed. So if I try to use my non-dominant hand in different activities like drawing, or maybe like brushing my teeth or doing other activities, believe me, it will bring you great benefits. Okay? So if you want, stop the tape, the video, and do your drawing, then laugh about it, okay? Laugh about it. It's just as simple as that. Or you can do it at the end of the video, whatever you prefer. But let's continue this time with the active concert, The Last Flower. The story that I'm going to share with you is a parable in pictures, and it was written by James Thurber in 1939. James Thurber dedicated his parable to his daughter Rosemary, and he says, in the wistful hope that her world will be better than mine. Check the date, 1939. What was happening in the world in 1939? If you thought, or if you knew, yes, it was the beginning of World War II. So it was a terrible moment for the world, and that's why James Thurber dedicated this parable to his daughter. And well, in fact, the first time that I came across with this parable was many years ago. I have it on this book, The United States in Literature. And you see over here the drawings, the parables that James Thurber did. Okay, I have edited it so that I can share it with you online. Actually, if you check on my website, you will also find this story without the reading aloud. But this time I'm going to read it aloud. Why? Because I'm going to teach you what an active concert is. According to Georgi Lozanov, it is very important that the brain is relaxed and that the brain develops emotions while learning a language. So let's say that his 5 principles that I follow in my teaching are fun, imagination, relaxation, emotion, and positive suggestions all the time. So active concert means reading aloud, but also having some music in the background, because music intensifies the feelings when we are reading. It's not any music, okay? According to Georgi Lozanov, for the active concert, we should play some classical music, like from Beethoven or Dvorak or Mozart or many other composers. There is the active concert and there is the passive concert. Active concert is you being active, reading aloud. Passive concert is just breathing in and out, relaxing, closing your eyes, and listening with the music on the background. Okay? So I'm going to share this parable with you. I'm going to read it aloud, and well, it's paused so that you can read after me. I say something, and then you say something. For example, if I read the last flower, then you repeat the last flower. A Parable in Pictures, A Parable in Pictures, by James Thurber, by James Thurber. Yes, so it's like echoing my words, paying attention to the sounds, to how I pronounce the words, and that way you will improve your pronunciation. Pay close attention to the sounds. My suggestion, if you can use earbuds, that would be better, because then you will be really listening to the music and listening to my words. Okay? I hope you enjoy it. It lasts about 7-8 minutes, and then I'll be back and we will be talking about this parable. I would like to hear your viewpoints. The Last Flower, A Parable in Pictures by James Thurber, 1939. For Rosemary, in the wistful hope that her world will be better than mine. World War XII, as everybody knows, brought about the collapse of civilization. Towns, cities, and villages disappeared from the earth. All the groves and forests were destroyed. And all the gardens. And all the works of art. Men, women, and children became lower than the lower animals. Discouraged and disillusioned, dogs deserted their fallen masters. Emboldened by the pitiful condition of the former lords of earth, rabbits descended upon them. Books, paintings, and music disappeared from the earth, and human beings just sat around doing nothing. Years and years went by. Even the few generals who were left forgot what the last war had decided. Boys and girls grew up to stare at each other blankly, for love had passed from the earth. One day, a young girl who had never seen a flower chanced to come upon the last one in the world. She told the other human beings that the last flower was dying. The only one who paid attention to her was a young man she found wandering about. Together, the young man and the girl nurtured the flower, and it began to live again. One day, a bee visited the flower, and a hummingbird. Before long, there were 2 flowers, and then 4, and then a great many. Groves and forests flourished again. The young girl began to take interest in how she looked. The young man discovered that touching the girl was pleasurable. Love was reborn into the world. Their children grew up strong and healthy and learned to run and laugh. Dogs came out of their exile. The young man discovered, by putting one stone upon another, how to build a shelter. Pretty soon, everybody was building shelters. Towns, villages, and cities sprang up. Song came back into the world. And troubadours and jugglers. And tailors and cobblers. And painters and poets. And soldiers. And lieutenants and captains. And generals and major generals. And liberators. Some people went one place to live, and some another. Before long, those who went to live in the valleys wished they had gone to live in the hills. And those who had gone to live in the hills wished they had gone to live in the valleys. The liberators, under the guidance of God, set fire to the discontent. So presently, the world was at war again. This time, the destruction was so complete that nothing at all was left in the world. Except one man and one woman. And one flower. All right then. So it's quite shocking, isn't it? I mean, it's not a happy story, but it's the story of humankind. There have been many wars in the planet, but hope is still there. So who are the main characters in this parable? Yes, the man, the woman, and of course, the flower. There are many other characters, other people, the soldiers, the war, the liberators, the lieutenants, etc. But the main characters, the man, the girl, and the flower. When does this story take place? Well, it says World War 12, so sometime in the future. Or let's hope that it will never take place. What happened in the beginning of the story? James Thurber begins by saying that World War 12 created the destruction of the world. Some people remained there, but everybody was so disillusioned, so sad. And then the woman found this flower, and then somehow hope was born again. Love took place again. Hope was born again, and the people began to build cities, etc. But then again, we are always in this discontent of our situation. If we live in a city, we want to live in a town. If we live in a town, we want to move to the city. If it is this city, we want to move to another city, etc. If we have this car, we want to have another car, etc. And well, you saw somewhere in the beginning that the dogs abandoned their masters. What's the reason you think that the dogs went away? Dogs are faithful. They usually stay with their masters, dogs and cats and other pets. But humans were so hopeless that I guess the animals didn't want to stay with them anymore. They didn't find any fun being with them. The girl finds a flower, and she brings the news to the people around her, and nobody listens to her. Again, they are so out of hope. There is only one boy or one young man who listens to her. So, okay, in the end of the story, James Thurber says, everything, this time the war was so terrible that everything was destroyed, except a man, a woman, and a flower. What do you think will happen next? I hope you imagine that the world will be rebuilt with this man, with this woman, and the flower representing hope in humankind. I would like to ask you, what's the feeling you get from this parable? Have you ever felt so hopeless that you really want to give it all up. There's always hope. There's always something that moves us to go forward, to find reasons in our lives, to find something to live about is essential in our lives. It's just like Viktor Frankl mentions in his book, Man in Search of Meaning, that, well, when he was in these concentration camps in World War II, what he discovered is that those people who had a certain hope to go back to their works, to go back to their families, to find their beloved ones, they survived. Those of them who had lost all hopes died in the concentration camp, or they died faster in these concentration camps. So also I would like to hear if you want to share with me what's your feeling, what's your opinion about the combination of the video and the audio? How did it make you feel? Do you think that the background music enhances feelings or provokes you to get the idea of the story a little deeper, perhaps? Or was it distracting? I mean, you can decide. For some people, it is distracting to have background music. For other people, they like to read and have some music in the background. What's your feeling about this? Now, the girl, the man, both at the beginning of the story and at the at the end of the story, both the girl and the young man are resilient. They don't want to give up. What's your idea about resilience? And what's the reason that humankind goes into war or isn't happy what they have? Do you consider yourself a resilient person? What kind of things should you do in order to adapt to the new realities? Your life, my life, everybody's lives change constantly, and we must adapt to the new conditions. The world, our ideas evolve. So we cannot be just staying in one place or being one kind of person all the time. We need to be flexible. And so in order to build mental flexibility, there are certain things that we can do. I'm showing here on screen some strategies to build mental flexibility, to be more resilient, to adapt to the new conditions of the new world. Of course, when we got into pandemic, we had to build lots of mental flexibility because the world changed dramatically. Okay, so now we are going to talk about mental flexibility and how can mental flexibility help to build resilience in our lives. For this activity, what we are going to do is to play a game. All right. Since you cannot really participate over here on YouTube, unless you want to write comments, of course, I am going to be giving the answers. But check it as a game, and I will leave you the link on the description of the video if in case you want to play it with somebody else and have some brainstorming about building resilience with mental flexibility. That would be a fantastic idea because you will be at that moment, you will be building mental flexibility. Okay, so I'm going to share screen with you. Let's go for the game. How does mental flexibility help to build resilience? Let's go for the questions or the suggestions to build mental flexibility. How does mental flexibility help to build resilience in the case of changing routines? What's your viewpoint on this? Let's say, for example, that every day, I don't know, you wake up and the first thing you do is you take a shower and then have breakfast. What will happen if every now and then you decide to change your routine and first have breakfast and then take a shower? In the beginning, it will be confusing. Your brain will say, no, we don't have breakfast if we haven't taken a shower. But if you do it, believe me, you will be building mental flexibility. Or let's imagine that you always take the same route to get to your office. What about changing the route? Maybe you get more traffic. Maybe you need to leave earlier. I don't know, but that would be another way to change routines and to build mental flexibility. Yes, your brain will get uncomfortable. I know, but believe me, you will be telling your brain, stop. I want to be more flexible, and I am the one in charge. Right? Let's go for another one. Here we go. So we want to build resilience. What happens if we learn something new? Maybe another language, maybe maths, maybe a craft, to knit, to embroider, to work with wood, to draw, something new. Learning something new will always bring new connections in our brains, and that will also bring mental flexibility. I will be helping my brain to think wiser, to be wiser, to have more possibilities, to have other ideas. Okay? So if you want to share, what would you like to learn? What will be your next challenge? If you're watching this, maybe your challenge right now is to improve your English. Great, congrats. But how about learning another language? Or how about learning music? What would you like to learn? Let's go for next one. And we spin. Okay, how about playing games? There are many games that you can play alone or with your family, with your friends. Yes, from video games. They also bring mental flexibility. They also help to build resilience because you are competing against a machine or against somebody else. Yes, the best video game to play, or one of the best video games to play in order to build brain connections, is Tetris. But well, you choose. Other games, when you are playing with your family or with friends, talking about, for example, dominoes or chess or any board game, cards, etc. There are many, many, many games that you can play with family and friends, and you will have to be attentive, listening and watching what the other people are playing, what their strategies are. You will be learning from their strategies. You will be competing. You will be having critical thinking, finding other ways to win the game. Okay? And also, of course, if you lose the game, that will bring resilience to you because, okay, you won or you lost this one, maybe next one you will win. Let's go for next one. So how does using your non-dominant hand help to build resilience and to build mental flexibility? As I mentioned before, well, if you usually, in my case, like me, if I usually use my left hand, I try to do certain activities with my right hand. So sometimes I brush my teeth with my right hand, or I do some drawings, or I write with my right hand, or if I'm washing the dishes, and I usually take the dish with my left hand and take the sponge with my right hand, I invert, and now I take the sponge with my left and the dish with my right, and I do the scrubbing the other way. Sometimes, yes, it feels uncomfortable. The brain is wondering what's going on here. But believe me, it will bring new connections to your brain, more mental flexibility, and more resilience also, because maybe you break a dish. Whew. Breathe in and out and say, all right, next time will be better. That is resilience, bouncing back from something that did not turn out to be very positive. All right. So, okay, there was a mistake. You broke a dish. Nothing very terrible happens. Next time will be better. Next time will be better. And then you will see that in no time, you can brush your teeth with either hand, or you can wash the dishes either way, or you can do many things with both hands. Okay, let's move on. We only have 2 more to go. So we are talking over here about mental flexibility and resilience to bounce back from a bad situation and going into a better situation. What happens with positive thinking? Okay, and here I'm not talking about toxic positive thinking, like, oh, everything is so beautiful. Oh, the sky is always blue. No, there are clouds, there are cloudy days, but there's also in the clouds a silver lining. This expression, there's a silver lining, it means that you can also find the positive in a not so good situation. Okay, so what did I learn more than anything? What was the lesson that I got from this situation? That's the positive thinking. Just like the girl, all right. She was disillusioned like the rest of the people. She was hopeless, but she suddenly found a flower and she started to change her viewpoint into a more positive way of thinking. And then she started to spread the word until she found somebody who was there to go and see the flower and look after the flower. So this positive thinking brought changes in her humankind. Okay, she built resilience with this flower. And the last one, okay, we only have one. Oh, it's absurd to spin it around, but it's good because now we can read it the way it should be. Meeting new people. What do you think about this? How positive can it be to meet new people? How can it bring mental flexibility? Because you will hear other viewpoints, because you will hear other experiences, because you will know about them, And if you are interested, well, you will listen about them and you will see what kind of people they are, etc. Why will it bring resilience to your life? Because, well, you are going out, you are experiencing, meeting someone else, and not only stay in your little world of a few friends and a few family members and not going out to the world to meet new people. Yes, you will have to be resilient over here, open-minded, patient, and this will also help you bounce back from a bad situation, because maybe you had a situation that was not very good in your life and you hear something from a new person that resonates with what you are living in that moment. Maybe that will be the what triggers you're moving forward. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And well, just to close up this session, I would like to share a quote by Margaret Thatcher. I don't know if you have heard of her. Well, she was a British stateswoman. She was the prime minister for many years in Great Britain. She is known as the Iron Woman. She was a very determined woman, and well, some people consider her that she didn't take very good decisions in her life. But what is the fact is that she brought Great Britain to progress. And she says, you may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Think about it a little bit. Many times we just try once. And if we fail, we give up. And we say, no, this is not for me. Whether you're learning a language, learning something new, or looking for a job, and then you get your first interview, it doesn't go so well, and you give up. Any other sort of battle in your life, or conflict or situation that you are going through. You may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Think about all the inventors that we have had that have tried not once, but many, many, many times, thousands of times, for them to get the invention the way it should be. So give it a chance. If you fail, it was a mistake. Oops. Try again. Just take into consideration the mistake that you do and try another way. With your mental flexibility, with your creative thinking. Try a different way, learn from your past experiences, try again, and you will see that sooner or later you will win the battle. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching this Common Art. And remember, every Sunday we have a new mini Common Art here on my YouTube channel, and you can follow me on my social media that you can see on screen. You can give likes to my videos, and you can also ask for information about the real Common Art or the learning sessions, whether you are a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced learner of English. I can help you improve your English. Okay? Thanks and bye-bye. Happy day.